Here we go. That's the Hillary Clinton move. Welcome to Cooking with Paul. This is dedicated to my sister Carol, who wants to make a roux. This can be done. She thinks she can't do it, but it can be done. We're going to go cook a roux. I don't know what's going to happen next, but whatever happens on these videos, it's all Carol's fault. Thank you for visiting me in Dallas. I want you to stay with me. Don't touch that dial. First episode of Cooking with Paul in honor of my sister who is trying to make a roux. We're going to try for a roux this afternoon, and we're just going to see what happens. Now, when you go to work in the kitchen, if you have hair like my hair, hat. Sometimes it helps, whatever. You know how they say, first you make a roux? That's where a lot of recipes begin. First you make a roux. My recipes say, screw that. First you make your cocktail. All good recipes start with a cocktail. And we're going to start this one with a cocktail. In fact, we're going to turn this head so we can see my beautiful eyes. Cajun cookbook. This is going to be very complicated. Pay careful attention. Cajun cookbook. By Floyd J. Babineau. None other. Cajun roux. The secret of a good roux is constant stirring, which prevents the mixture from burning until the desired color is reached. Most recipes indicate the shade required. Usually a roux requires 15 to 30 minutes to develop, although some purists insist upon 1 hour. Yeah, right, screw that. We're not taking an hour to do this. No, I figured this out years ago. Isn't a roux toasted flour? Yes, it's toasted flour. Then why don't we just toast the frickin' flour? Alright, Carol wants to cook for 6 people. High-tech pieces of equipment. Toaster oven, toaster tray. She says she wants all the details. So there's my toaster tray with aluminum foil. I'm going to use about 1.5 cups of flour. Take the 1.5 cups of flour, put the 1.5 cups of flour on the toaster tray. How hard can this be? I'm kind of spreading the flour around on the toaster tray. Here we go. And we're going to put the flour in the toaster. Flour toaster. Turn on the toaster. While we are, where's the dang toaster? Oh, there's the toaster. Turn on the toaster. This actually might take like 15 minutes, depending on how hot your toaster is. We're turned on the toaster. That can't be that hard. While we're waiting for the flour to cook, let me tell you a story about my sister. She hates it that I'm unemployed. As if she could possibly hate it more than I can. So she comes up with these strange ideas for jobs and asks me, did I yet apply for jobs? She saw on Fox News the other day that people were protesting in Tehran, screaming, "Death to America! Death to America!" And they were burning an American flag. By the way, these are the same people who raised hell because somebody said they were going to burn a Koran. But here they are burning American flags. And Carol called and asked, if you were in Tehran, Iran, where would you buy an American flag? Wouldn't the guy who owns the store who sells American flags get his store blown up? Evidently, somebody has that job. And they're in the import-export business to export American flags all over the world to whomever wants to burn them up next. Sometimes they burn up the American flags, death to America, the great Satan, because they're caught in a traffic jam. Sometimes they're bored. Sometimes their latte was not hot enough, so they decide to burn an American flag. So my sister came up with the idea that I should be the guy. And by the way, how do you sell this? How do you market this American flag? Do you say, this American flag is high quality. By God, it will burn. It is made out of the same fabric as children's pajamas. It will burn so fast. Well, to satisfy her, I certainly do have a resume that says, expert in American flag, import, export. We're going to let this toast go. It's toasting away there, doing what toasters do. And I'll talk to you soon. Browning. It is on the shelf by the instant gravy mixes. I like my gumbo to be real dark, and most people think that means I put a lot more roux in it, or my roux is extra dark. I actually cheat. I put a couple of tablespoons of this stuff in it. This is not dangerous. You won't destroy your pot with this. Put a couple of tablespoons, cook it all through your pot, and see if it's the color you like. And if you want more, you can add more. This won't destroy your pot. And here we are, toasting along, doing nothing. I'm going to take my little flour out. I wonder if you can see it. It's starting to get the color of toast. But see, I'm kind of moving it around a bit because we want all the flour to cook. And so we're going to toast it along. You know what toast is. You've seen light toast and you've seen dark toast. So what we're looking for is a darker toast. This is beginning to remind me of light chocolate. So we're going to stick it right back in there and keep toasting along. We had a lady in our church, and her name was Mama Effie. That old woman loved us so much. Terry and I were just two lost children down there in Evangeline Parish, and that old lady loved us. This is how she used to make her roux. She would put it on a big cookie sheet, and she would put it under the broiler on the oven. So obviously it cooked a lot faster because she had the surface area. So you could try it on a cookie sheet under the broiler. I happen to be doing it in the toaster. Either way it's going to work. Just don't burn it. But if you burn it, what are you out? A cup and a half of flour?